What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud O Smoke YouTube channel. T Cloud here, and today I'm going to show you how I made those smoky, saucy, poor man's burnt ends. So what we have here today is about a 2.5 pound chuck roast, and what we want out of this is brisket flavor without the brisket price. So if you're timid about trying to cook your first brisket, this would be a good start because it is half the price, it's smaller, and it is more forgiving. So since we want that brisket flavor, what I have is some just coarsely ground black pepper, and I'm going to put that down first. That way, when I hit it with our second seasoning, the pepper doesn't have a chance to bounce off of it. So, a good coating of pepper. And then, with some Cosmos SPG, which is salt, pepper, garlic. And I love to use this on everything. Meats, vegetables. It's just a good all-around seasoning. Not sponsored by Cosmos, but that would be nice. So one side down, and this chuck roast does have some good marbling in it, so hopefully we'll get some breakdown on it while it's smoking. And on with some more SPG. And don't forget your sides. We want as much bark on this as possible. Now we got this seasoned up, we're gonna let it hang out and we're gonna get the pit started. Alright, so we got the pit fired up. We are rocking at about 250 degrees today with some hickory and some lump charcoal. Got some nice blue smoke rolling out of it. Got our meter thermometer and our chuck roast. We're going to let this go for a couple hours till we get some nice bark going on it, and then we'll be back and check on it. All right, so we've been on for about 3 hours now. Let's take a look. Ooh, that looks really barky, but we're only at about 150 degrees, so I'm gonna get this off, I'm gonna get it wrapped up, and we're gonna put it back on the smoker. Okay. So I got some butcher paper, and I'm just gonna spritz this with a little water, that way it's easier to work so that doesn't fly away. And we have our beautiful chuck roast. And we're just gonna add one thing to this before we wrap it up, and that is a little beef tallow. So all beef tallow is rendered beef fat, kind of like bacon grease. So it's the beef equivalent of bacon grease is what it boils down to. So we're just gonna put a little bit of this on there just to make it more decadent. We'll leave the thermometer in there. This is going back on the smoker until we hit an internal temp of around 200 to 205 degrees. All right, I don't know if you guys can tell, but yeah, shit's about to hit the fan. So luckily, this is temping at 100 or 205 degrees. So we're gonna get these off, get them inside, so we can get these finished up. All right, so I've let the chuck roast rest for a little bit, and that looks delicious. And it's got a couple tough spots in it, but for the most part, it's probing like butter. So what I'm gonna do now, save that. Didn't dump any juices in here. Do that. So I'm gonna take this and cube it into about 1-inch squares. So the end got a little bit dry. The smell coming off this is amazing. Beefy hickory smoke with the charcoal. And that part, that's super tender. So finish cubing these up. You know, bite size 1-inch squares, something you want to eat. You don't want really big bites. So now I got them sliced up. I'm gonna put them back in the pan they're resting in. And then I've got some barbecue sauce. So this is just what I picked up at the store. Some Sweet Baby Ray's honey chipotle. We just want to get all of these just a nice coating, not too much. Give them all some love. They look it like that. So now that I've got these coated, I'm going to throw these back on the smoker for, I don't know, maybe half hour, just to let the sauce tack up to the meat, and then we'll pull them off and we'll see how we did. All right, so I let these go for another half hour after I threw them back on the pit. And they look really good. We got some nice squishy ones. So let's see how we can do this. All right, so I still don't have my little taste tester home yet, but they're tender. They're not super tender. It did stall around 150 degrees, and I was busy. I was doing other videos, doing things around the house, and I didn't get to wrap it in time. So I think that is why some of them are a little tough. But for, this is an experiment. I wanted to see how this turned out. I wanted to try that burnt in, Texas style burn ends, Kansas City style burn ends, without buying and killing a brisket before I go into brisket. So all in all, I think it was a pretty good success. So if you guys want to see more experiments, some amateur backyard smoking, barbecuing, just cooking in general, being outdoors in generals, make sure you subscribe. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.